Isla Mujeres maintains the laid-back atmosphere of Cancun decades ago, but with all the fun activities to keep the family going. After 5 wonderful days spent roaming the streets by golf cart, checking out shops, heading out to remote snorkel locations, and shaking fins with some of the ocean's larger-than-life sea creatures, dolphins and sharks, we're spending our last night enjoying what Isla Mujeres has to offer in the culinary world, with kids, also with great views and delectable treats.
Hola. Hola.
There are so many wonderful restaurants to choose from. Traditional Mexican dishes, tacos al pastor, Italian eateries, American food, but one catches the eye of our little munchkins.
You can go to a restaurant and you could actually get ice cream and some chocolate for dinner.
And after the long flights, taxis and boat rides, and hot midday outings, I say let them eat chocolate. It is a vacation after all, and sometimes it's okay to leave some rules at home. After a scrumptious crepe dinner, we head to the beach to watch the sunset. The beach bar with swings for seats delights the kids, and we play easily as the afternoon gives way to night.
Today we say goodbye to Isla Mujeres as we head inland to Chichen Itza to explore one of the largest ancient Mayan cities. We have to be to the ferry dock by 11 a.m. to catch the boat back to Cancun, where we'll rent a car to make the 2.5-hour drive to Chichen Itza. The ferry ride seems less exciting to the kids on the way back. What do you see? But the ride goes smoothly and we arrive in plenty of time to pick up our rental car.
At the car rental place, they tell us there are 2 roads. There's a toll road that runs from Cancun almost to Merida, but if you take the old highway, you'll save yourself some money and see what life is like in the real Yucatan.
As the laid-back lifestyle of the Caribbean coast gives way to the lush jungles of the interior, evidence of the epic clash between the once prominent Mayan civilization and the Spanish colonial powers becomes more apparent.
We decide to use the old slow road on the way to Chichen Itza so we can stop off in Valladolid, a town rich in Spanish colonial history.
Situated around a beautiful zocalo or town square, Valladolid holds a large amount of history for such a small town. This town was one of the first Mayan targets in the War of the Castes.
Valladolid makes a great introduction to the Spanish influence in the Yucatan. The old town square is surrounded by colonial-style buildings, and there's a large church that's supposed to be the oldest church in the Yucatan.
The kids enjoy the brief rest before hopping back in the car and onto the small road to Chichen Itza. The slower road, which doesn't seem to move that much slower than the toll road, sends us directly through tiny villages and rural communities. This is the real Maya, and it's important for the kids to see this after the polished tourist trade in Cancun.
At Chichen Itza, we're greeted by a giant pyramid peering through the lush green jungle just outside our hotel. We're staying at the lodge at Chichen Itza, located just steps from the entrance to the pyramid complex. The hotel grounds are impressive. Stone-paved pathways wind through tall jungle trees, lush tropical gardens teeming with wildlife,
Iguana.
and across neatly manicured lawns leading to a traditional-style bungalow. The kids make instant friends with our bungalow mates next door, and find plenty to do in the gardens with swings and a swimming pool right by our room while we relax and take in the jungle surrounds from our hammock on the front porch.
Today we're going to explore the pyramids at Chichen Itza. We're really excited, but we've heard that most of the pyramids are closed to climbing. We're trying to get a straight answer, but nobody is really sure, so we're going to have to head inside to find out.
There's an arrow this way.
When you're walking through the jungle on the way to the pyramids, be sure to keep an eye out and look around for things like iguanas and big lines of leafcutter ants.
Oh, what is that? They're really strong, and they can carry 10 times their weight. And they go with a really long trail. They have to carry it for a long time that they might even faint.
But we're still searching for the
Ancient pyramid.
The forest opens up to reveal a vast complex of pyramids. I can't believe my eyes. Chills are running down my spine at this stunning sight. The pyramids are huge, and there's so many of them. The first one we see is El Castillo, the largest of the pyramids. But denied. No climbing today.
I'm sorry that you can't climb it because it's closed and it's one of the biggest pyramids that's on Earth.
The kids are a bit disappointed about not being able to climb this one, but we all marvel at its soaring size. It's weird to think this used to be a thriving city with Mayans traveling from all over the Yucatan to visit.
Chichen Itza dates back to the mid-7th century when the Mayan civilization flourished here. The Mayan culture is well known for its advanced knowledge of celestial activity, and the Temple of Kukulkan, or El Castillo, reflects the Mayan calendar in stone.
How?
There are 18 levels on the pyramid and 365 steps representing the months and days in a Mayan year. During the spring and fall equinox, the sunlight hits the pyramid at precisely the right angle to create a shadow of a serpent running up the side of the pyramid from the snake-like stone structures at the base. The pyramids were built around several sinkholes, which provided a fresh water source. This is also where the Mayans offered sacrifices to their gods, sacrifices of jewels, pottery, and even human life.
Oh, look at the head, guys, look up.
As we walk through the different pyramids, you can almost feel a similarity in the Mayans' daily lives to our lives today. A ball court stadium with incredible acoustics offers a place for the crowd to root on their home team, although in Mayan times, the losers lost their heads, literally. Guards protecting the city.
See how here's his head, his eye, and his mouth, and here's his arms.
A vast area of pillars once used for a market, government buildings, ceremonial centers, and an observatory.
Some of the smaller pyramids are open for climbing, and the kids are thrilled.
Yay!
There are stairs to climb, secret rooms to explore,
Oh, go that way!
animals to discover,
Bat on your head.
tunnels to run through, and lots of fun to be had.
Playing hide and seek.
After a full day of exploring, the kids are pretty worn out.
You'll carry me. Are we to the hotel?
So we head back to the hotel before returning tonight for the light show.
At the hotel, the kids are reunited with their new friends, Ryan and Alyssa, who have also spent the day at the pyramids.
We went to the pyramids in Chichen Itza, and then we climbed up the stairs on one of the buildings. We had a guide to take us around the pyramids. fun to look at the stuff and learn about it. You should go there at night because you can see the light show.
The light show offers a brief history of the pyramids in a sound and light presentation. Although the historical facts are interesting and lights flash in all sorts of colors on the pyramids, the late hour causes the kids to lose interest and request an early departure. But be sure to get to the light show early because one of the best parts is seeing the darkened pyramid silhouetted in the moonlight before the show begins.
After a quick breakfast at our hotel with fresh tropical fruits,
Papaya.
What is this?
A mango.
with the mango, you like mango, it's pineapple,
Mom, what is this?
that's papaya, and juices. Fresh watermelon juice. We're heading to some nearby caves to explore the underground world of the Maya.
Under the hilly limestone ground of the Yucatan lie some of the world's largest underground rivers, which form huge cave systems with openings called cenotes. The caves of Balancanche, which were discovered just a few decades ago by a guide from Chichen Itza, lay just 3 miles from the pyramids. When the guide discovered the caves, the ancient Mayan treasures and ceremonial objects were still intact, and these items are in place again today.
After a short tour of the museum where we learn about the area, there's other caves off of here too. We strap on the headlamps and head underground.
The entrance to the cave is a long, narrow tunnel that looks like something they might have built in Disneyland, with big papier-mâché-looking rocks crowding the paved path. After a few minutes, the path starts to wind up and down rock formations.
Grab onto that rope, Mandy. Doing great, Seamus. The kids are having fun scampering up and down the rocks and are excited when the narrow cave opens up to a huge chamber with Mayan pots and artifacts all over the place. It's like a treasure hunter's dream. A river at the end of the path has crabs and strange fish with no eyes. But the heat and the lower oxygen levels inside the cave are making it a little hard to breathe, so we decide to head for the exit.
Yeah, I saw that.
After our cave adventure, we head back to the hotel for a refreshing dip in the pool. Lifeguard on duty, Mr. Iguana. And pack up. Tomorrow we head further inland to the Spanish capital of the Yucatan, Mérida.
420.
After cashing traveler's checks at the hotel, we pack up the car and hit the road.
Toll highway part of the way, and then go up to Izamal.
We're headed for Mérida, about 2 hours from Chichen Itza, but we're going to make a slight detour to check out the yellow city of Izamal.
Located about 1 hour outside Mérida, Izamal is known for its incredibly restored colonial beauty. Known as the Yellow City for the traditional paint used on most buildings, the city was once the site of major religious battles between the indigenous Mayans and the conquering Spanish.
Catch the Carriage Tour from the main Zocalo, where you are surrounded by beautiful yellow painted buildings that make the town so famous.
This is the town of Izamal. It's about an hour outside Mérida. Makes a great place for a day tour. You can take a horse-drawn carriage like this one all over town, seeing pyramids, churches.
On one side of the square, a long ramp leads up to the convent.
The Franciscan Convent with its intricately carved altar, colorful frescoes and saintly images is a great place to start our tour of the city. If you look at the base of the columns, you can see Mayan carved stones. When the Spanish conquistadors showed up, it was time to build a big church, but they didn't have enough building materials. So they headed down to the pyramid, which was right down the street, and actually tore the thing down to get building blocks to build these columns that you see here. A telltale sign of the outcome of the war.
Excited to learn more about the Spanish influence of the area, we hop back in the car, get some quick directions.
Izquierda, derecha.
Okay.
Un zigzag.
Okay.
Calle 33.
And head for Merida.
Buenos Aires, Yucatecos.
Once the heart of Mayan indigenous culture, and later the Spanish colonies, Merida has long been the center for arts in the Yucatan. Tucked in the heart of the Yucatan, Merida acted as the base for the Spanish during their conquest of the peninsula, and the city later took its orders directly from Spain instead of the government in Mexico City. This Mexican independent spirit and love for the arts is evident in Merida today in the intricately carved buildings, brightly colored paint, and large town square.
This is Merida, the cultural capital of the Yucatan. There's so much to see and do here, and the kids will love this town square. It also makes a wonderful base to explore the ancient Mayan cities like Chichen Itza and Uxmal.
We're staying here off the Plaza Grande in Merida, at Casa de Blam, a small boutique hotel infused with the rich history of this city. Built in 1970, the hotel incorporates one of the few Art Deco houses left in Merida. The artistic focus of the owner is evident in the incredible design of the lobby, and it's just 2 blocks from the main square, which has all sorts of tourist services, convenience stores with bottled water, banks. We're going to head down there now to look around a bit.
The town square is the center of life here. On one corner, the Palacio De Gobierno has an excellent museum with paintings detailing the struggles between the Mayan and the Spanish peoples. Another corner hosts a soaring cathedral. In the square, vendors sell all sorts of goodies and toys.
Look it, some dolls inside a bubble.
The boys are intrigued by a man playing music on a saw. And there's always tons of pigeons for the chasing.
And you could feed birds, and I actually fed some.
Surrounding the square are lots of little shops, outdoor cafes, and modern stores for snacks and drinks.
50. Look it.
We could head down one of the pedestrian walkways that lead off from the Zocalo,
Or take a double-decker bus for an incredible tour of the city. Let's go!
With an open-air top, you'll want to take the bus in the morning when it's cooler out. But it's worth it because the top deck gives great views of the colonial architecture that makes this city so wonderful. The bus winds out of the old part of town, while the tour guide points out important landmarks. We're going to get off here to check out the city's Museum of Anthropology, which has huge stone carvings, ancient Mayan artifacts, and miniature models of the pyramids. Before heading back to the square for lunch and a lesson on Mayan crafts. Dine on balconies like this one, overlooking the Zocalo. Restaurants like this line the whole town square.
After a quick bite to eat overlooking the town square, we're walking over to a Mayan cooperative.
You come in Merida for the Cultura Maya, for the alike people for Cultura Maya. So Merida is Maya.
Where rural villagers can send their crafts into the city for sale.
You pay, all the money go to the village, all the money. It's all for the village.
And local artisans create beautiful crafts right here in the store.
The blankets I have made here, all make it by loom. Here I don't use the machine.
So that tourists can see the traditional methods and materials, and the amount of work that goes into the process.
The kids pick up a couple of pyramid sculptures to remember their time at Chichen Itza.
Bakutam, Chemisba.
Before we leave, Julio tells us he'll be performing tonight in the Zocalo. Almost every night there's a festival or dance performance in the Plaza Grande.
The dancing is wonderful. The women wear white dresses embroidered with spectacular bright colors. They parade around with flowers in their hair, swishing their skirts. The men stand tall with their Panama hats and crisp guiveras, stomping to the beat. You can feel the pride and tradition swirling through the air with every move.
Baby, do you like the dogs? You hide and the balloon, baby.
Every night, local families come down to hang out in the square, enjoying the festive atmosphere. Vendors stroll around selling all sorts of toys and snacks. The kids are having a ball running around and making new friends. With all of these new sights and sounds to experience, we kind of forgot about dinner, and it's getting pretty late. If the kids are getting too cranky to sit through dinner, you can always find the universal food found throughout the world and bring it back to your hotel. Pizza.
Today we're going to head out on a walking tour of Merida to check out the local market. But first we need to drop off some laundry, and get some breakfast.
Want some toast?
Before we head to the Zocalo.
You really don't need strollers in the jungle and on the beaches, but in pedestrian towns like Merida, strollers are good even for kids that may be a little too old for them at home.
So we're packing up the strollers with snacks and bottled water.
These clips make your strollers really versatile. You can bring lightweight umbrella strollers, and they can be used as single strollers, or clip them together and you can use them as a double stroller.
Before we head out,
several wide pedestrian walkways lead off the Zocalo, and it's time to explore. As we wind down the streets, it's obvious that Merida is the retail hub of the region. Stores here sell everything from tourist trinkets and t-shirts to plumbing parts and machinery. The local farmers market is just a few blocks away, so that's where we're headed.
Market in Merida, you can find everything from shoes to medicines, homemade tortillas, lots of different kinds of vegetables, and look at these spices. ¿Qué es esto?
With fragrant spices and tropical fruits in every color and hue, the farmers market is a feast for the senses.
We stop for a snack at one of the fruit stands and watch the locals grind the corn and press the dough for fresh tortillas as they've done for centuries. Nathan and Seamus buy some Huarache sandals and a new toy for the drive to Tulum tomorrow. And we pick up a few souvenirs for ourselves. Here in Merida, you can find anything. There's all kinds of stuff to buy here. It is the capital of hammocks and guayaberas. Nathan isn't feeling very good, and he's running a slight fever. So we pick up some medicine for him at the pharmacy. Pharmacies like this are found in cities all throughout Mexico, and you can get basic medical supplies. And we also let him pick the restaurant for lunch. You can guess where we ended up. Even in the heart of the Yucatan, you can always find a pharmacy for basic medical supplies and fast food restaurants in most cities.
A relaxing afternoon in the square is just what the doctor ordered.
When in Merida, do as the locals do. Make sure you take some time out of your schedule and relax on the park bench in the Zocalo.
and Nathan's feeling better in no time. The Zocalo is a great ending note for our visit in Mérida. The kids have time to run around and get their energy out while we soak in the last bits of this culture-laden town. Ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Join Travel with Kids for a family adventure in Thailand, Peru, South Africa, Ireland, Fiji, and more. Take advantage of Travel with Kids' decades of family travel experience. You decide where to go? We do all the legwork to build your ideal journey. Each Travel with Kids family adventure tour immerses your family in the history, culture, and nature of a destination. Try new foods,
chicken, rice, and olives. And spider.
Learn new adventure activities together. Kids make friends with kids, adults enjoy relaxation time. So this summer, do something different. Join Travel with Kids for a true family adventure. Travel with Kids is now offering family adventure tours. Your family can join our family in exotic locations around the globe.